Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Friday edition of Logically Left. I am your host, Jeff Waldorf, and oh boy, we got a fun one. We got the Musk-Trump meltdown. The fallout has begun. Well, actually, it began yesterday, but I'm going to be reporting on a lot of what's happened yesterday and today, by the way, because there's more stuff. There's always more stuff that has come out, and it's all fun. Fun for us, anyway. Not so much for them. Then we have, of course, Musk versus Steve Bannon. Sloppy Steve! Here we go! Oh, yes. Chief Twit versus Sloppy Steve. Then we get away from that, and we're going to talk about one of the new terrorism prevention picks from President Donald Trump. So, that's an interesting story. We got ICE agents stuck in Djibouti. I kid you not. In a shipping container. The insanity here of these stories. I mean, yeah, it's incredible. And then Dr. Oz wants you to prove your worth if you're on Medicaid. Oh, boy. So there we go. It's quite the news day today to cap off this insane week. So, I mean, you know, we're going to dive into it, of course, really soon here in a couple of minutes. But I do want to check to see if there are any new members here to thank over on YouTube. Nope, no new members. If you want to join and become a member, support independent progressive media, because we really do need your help. To stay independent, stay on the air, you can hit the join button below. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, you can also join as well. And of course, over on Patreon, patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf here, you can also help by signing up there. So to be a member. All right. With that said, let's dive in. Fun times. Oh, yes. Let him fight. Let him fight. Okay. Oh, shoot. In what has been a completely predictable outcome, the world's two biggest egos on the planet finally had an epic clash. And it did not disappoint. Oh, no. Fun all around. All right. On Thursday, the Trump-Musk bromance came to a fiery close as Trump finally got sick of Elon Musk trashing his signature legislation, the big, beautiful bill, one big, beautiful bill, and decided to hit back, first saying, of course, he was very disappointed in Elon. Oh, now, in case you thought that reaction was mild, no, it actually probably was more like this. Disappointed! There might have been ketchup involved. I don't know. Okay, on the wall. But anyway, he then took to Truth Social in order to, post this. Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do. And he just went crazy. Oh, Elon, he went crazy. Let me tell you what. For one, there's no EV mandate. Okay, this was a tax credit. And one that, by the way, does help Elon Musk. That's true. But it also helps other EV makers. So, just saying. Now, of course, Musk, and I love how this is now dueling platforms. You've got Donald Trump over on his Truth Social. Truth Central. And Elon Musk on X. And they're all both posting, furiously at each other, which is fun. In fact, on X here, Elon Musk writes, such an obvious lie. So sad. So sad. And then posted, time to drop the really big bomb. Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out. The truth will come out. It's so good. It's so. Oh, hold on here. You just said that Donald Trump is a pedophile, and that's why Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, and Pam Bondi are now hiding the Epstein files that they had promised to reveal. Oh, it's getting good. It's so good. Look, either Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, which is again likely to be true, because he was friends with Epstein for a very long time. And by the way, Musk is posting videos of Epstein and Trump partying together. There's pictures. Of course, we all knew that, right? Now, that said, it doesn't necessarily mean that Trump wasn't engaging in anything illegal, as there are people in those files who were associates or flew on the jets and anything like that, right? But it could also be that Trump did engage in certain activities on Epstein's island or in the jets or whatever, right? Now, the fact that Elon Musk is coming out and saying this now is pretty interesting, because wait, is Musk admitting that he knew this all along and said nothing? Is he admitting that he helped a pedophile become president of the United States by holding back this information? That does not look good. Look, no one here looks good. Everyone involved is terrible. And I love it when terrible people rip each other to shreds. It's so good. I love it. Okay? Now, Trump hit back, by the way, saying at one point that, hey, the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's government subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. Ooh, now you're threatening the money. You're threatening the subsidies and the contracts. Uh-oh. Musk responded with, in light of the president's statement about cancellation of my government contracts, SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately. Now, of course, look, ever since the U.S. got rid of our space shuttle program, we have been relying on the private industry and before that, the Russian government. Well, that's pretty much out. And then private industry, well, that's pretty much out. Okay, so how are we going to get the astronauts back and forth from the International Space Station? So that's kind of a problem. All right. But anyway, fun. Elon Simps, of course, jumped in. One saying, "Can I finally say that Trump's tariffs are super stupid?" With Musk responding, "The Trump tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of this year." There's a lot of broken clocks everywhere. It's fantastic. We're filled with broken clocks. All right, that's the story. So Trump says he should get rid of Elon's subsidies. Okay, while Elon signed off on what is essentially a suggestion by a user on X about impeaching the president. Well, there you go. President versus Elon. My money's on Elon. Trump should be impeached. J.D. Vance should replace him. Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. Now, of course, Trump had to hit back. In fact, he told reporters that Elon Musk is, the guy is just suffering from Trump derangement syndrome.
He's upset. Remember, he was here for a long time. You saw a man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval desk. And even with the black eye, I said, "Do you want a little makeup? We'll get you a little makeup." But he said, "No, I don't think so," which is interesting and very nice. He wants to be who he is, so you could make that statement too, I guess. Look, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we will anymore. I was surprised because you were here. Everybody in this room practically was here as we had a wonderful send-off. He said wonderful things about me. You couldn't have nicer. Said the best things. He's worn the hat. Trump was right about everything, and I am right about the great, big, beautiful bill. And I'll tell you, he's not the first. People leave my administration, and they love us, and then at some point they miss it so badly, and some of them embrace it, and some of them actually become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it, but we have it with others too. They leave, and they wake up in the morning, and the glamour's gone, the whole world is different, and they become hostile. I don't know what it is. Someday you'll write a book about it, and you'll let us know.
He's got Trump derangement. That's what it is. I don't know. I don't know what else it is. I mean, now on Friday morning, he also spoke to ABC News's Jonathan Karl and said, "I am not particularly interested in talking to Elon Musk right now." Okay, but I don't want to talk to him, but he keeps wanting to talk to me. Elon wants to keep talking to me. He wants to keep calling me. But I'm not ready for it. He added that Musk is, quote, a man who has lost his mind. Oh. No, it's getting so funny and ridiculous that now apparently Donald Trump is looking to dump his Tesla that he had bought on the White House lawn back in March. Yeah, when he had that whole thing like, oh, yeah, buy Elon's cars. We're going to show them all here on the White House lawn, and it's going to be fantastic. Oh, look, I like the red one. Oh, wow, this is so amazing, that technology. You could check this out. Oops. According to Fox News reporter Peter Ducey, the red Tesla with Florida plates parked on West Executive Drive will either be given away or sold. I don't know who's going to buy it, who's going to want to buy it, all right, especially now, but, oh, it's so good. And by the way, it would be absolutely hilarious if he ended up having to give it away or had to leave it somewhere on the side of the road. Okay, the possibilities for comedy here are endless. Ooh, I got an idea. Why not take it to one of those car crushers? You know, the ones that will crush it into a cube and have that and do that. Okay. Watch that Tesla get just crushed into a freaking cube. It would have been great. Oh, that'll be great. If they do that, awesome. Look, obviously, I've got no side in this fight. Let them rip each other to pieces. At the end of the day, we all knew that this was coming. I mean, two men with all the money and power in the world with gigantic egos, they cannot exist in the same place for very long. This was inevitable, kind of like entropy, but a lot more funny. Oh, good stuff. But we're not done. Oh, no. Here comes Sloppy Steve. Fun. Right-wing podcaster Steve Bannon has been on the warpath against the chief twit, Elon Musk, for some time. Okay, ever since, I think, before the election. They did not like each other. And now it appears that Steve is getting the comeuppance he so desired. Now, remember, Bannon, Musk, not on friendly terms. They never were. Didn't trust him. Was like, I don't like this guy. You got to kick him out. I'm going to get rid of him. I'm going to kick him out of Trump's orbit. Well, it looks like, I don't know, Musk had his own rapid, unscheduled disassembly from Trump's orbit. And a lot of people are, basically saying that what happened to trigger the final straw was the confrontation that Musk had with Scott Bessent that apparently got a little bit physical, but I'm not sure. There's been a lot of issues here in that relationship. But anyway, now that Trump is no longer hanging out with Elon Musk or allowing Musk to hang out with him, Bannon is not only celebrating, but he's looking for a little bit of vengeance. Okay, according to the New York Times, Bannon has already called for Musk to be deported. Oh, fun. Okay, here's what he said in a phone call to the New York Times. Quote, they should initiate a formal investigation of his immigration status because I am sure, I am of the strong belief that he is an illegal alien. And he should be deported from the country immediately. Immediately. Damn. Okay, that's pretty strong. Now, Bannon also said that Trump should investigate Musk for his effort to participate in a classified briefing on China in March, and for his regular alleged drug use during his tenure. Yes, that's right. And added that Musk's security clearance should be yanked immediately. Okay, gone. And on his War Room podcast, Bannon went further.
Know anything. He's a know-it-all. He knows some engineering. Don't get me wrong. I give a hat tip for that, but he doesn't know anything about the real world. Doge was, for any fanboys that still exist, while you're wrapping up in your cape tonight, understand on Doge, he didn't find any fraud. There's plenty of fraud out there. He didn't find, this is President Trump's first complaint. Was this all BS, right, with the Doge? The action that President Trump should be taking immediately, I think, when he threatens to take one of the big programs out of SpaceX, President Trump tonight should sign an executive order calling for the Defense Production Act to be called in SpaceX and seize SpaceX tonight before midnight.
Wow. Okay. Seize it. Seize that SpaceX. Oh, yes. Wow. Well, okay, like, first off, that's not what the Defense Production Act actually allows you to do. But that said, deport him, seize his business, and revoke all of his security clearances, all of that stuff. Oof. Awesome. Now, that said, of course, Elon Musk was not going to let that one go. Basically calling him a, quote, peak arsler. Yes, they're bringing that back. Another of his fans called Bannon a, quote, unquote, fat communist. Oh, wow. And there you go.
Pink-haired communist.
Okay. Fun times. Now, of course, on the same episode where he called for the deportation of Musk and the seizing of his business, he went on to trash Doge. He said, quote, here's the problem with Elon. Very simple. He promised $1 trillion in cuts in waste, fraud, and abuse. And listen, for all the fanboys out there, I'm going to treat you fanboys like little puppies. They're going to rub your nose in the mess that you made. Now, on that, look, yes, Elon Musk first promised $2 trillion, by the way, in cuts, savings, or whatever. And then $1 trillion, and then he fell way, way short. Didn't work out. Musk was only able to cut maybe around 170 billion. Those numbers are, of course, in dispute here. Because we don't know how accurate they are. And that actually came at a cost of over 270,000 people losing their jobs. Okay? Either being fired or quitting. Turns out that was not very popular with the American people. Okay? And as such, the Trump team is now looking to reverse those job cuts and bring people back. Now, part of that, of course, is they've been also ordered to, through several court cases, to bring some of these people back as well. But nonetheless, across the government, according to the Washington Post, the Trump administration is scrambling to rehire many of the federal employees dismissed under Doge's staff slashing initiatives after wiping out entire offices, in some cases imperiling key services such as weather forecasts and the drug approval process. Trump officials are trying to recover not only people who were fired, but also thousands of experienced senior staffers who are opting for voluntary exit as the administration rolls out a second resignation offer. Oh, interesting. And thousands more staff are returning in fits and starts as a conflicting patchwork of court decisions overturned some of Trump's large-scale firings, especially his Valentine's Day dismissal of all probationary workers, those with 1 or 2 years of government service and fewer job protections. All of this is an absolute disaster. Yeah, fun times. And here's the funny part, right? A lot of those who were dismissed or had voluntarily left, they're not sure if they want to come back, and I don't blame them. In fact, one FDA staffer who was fired and then rehired had said, quote, "They wanted to show they were gutting the government, but there was no thought about what parts might be worth keeping. Now it just feels like it was all just a game to them." Well, that's because it was. There was absolutely no intelligence behind this.
It's not human intelligence!
No intelligence. None. Nothing. Look, the allegedly smartest man in the world, okay? And I guess depending on who you ask, both Donald Trump and Elon Musk would claim to be the smartest man in the world, okay? The truth is, of course, neither of them are. They both, look, they left behind a complete and utter mess, okay? Just a mess. Now, Bannon went further against Doge and, the claims Musk had made. Quote, "Remember the mantra of going through all the Social Security people that were 200 years old? Not one penny was ever found." Yeah. Where's the fraud in Medicaid, which is ripe for fraud? Never came up with anything. Where's the fraud at the Pentagon, which is the Mac Daddies of waste, fraud, and abuse? Not one penny. Yeah, they didn't look in the Pentagon. I mean, hey, if you wanted to find waste, fraud, and abuse, Pentagon is the place to go. Okay, and of course, the Pentagon, one of the problems with the Pentagon that creates so much waste, fraud, and abuse is their reliance on contractors. Contractors like who? Elon Musk. Yeah, exactly. And so, and he's not even the biggest recipient of all this money from the Pentagon. Of course, you have these gigantic defense contractors, billions of dollars, and again, overcharging lots of ways. Can't even, the Pentagon itself cannot even pass an audit. Hasn't passed an audit in the last 7 years. Okay, and there you go. There you go. And by the way, there's no arrest for any of this alleged fraud, not a single person, which is pretty suspicious. Now, at the end of the day, obviously, Donald Trump wanted to use Doge to just cut agencies and programs that he didn't like as part of, again, the whole Project 2025 thing. It's been about 47% enacted by now. Okay? And so, and by the way, to do all these cuts and things, because Project 2025 is extremely unpopular, to get all this stuff done without experiencing any of the blowback, okay, the political blowback. And so I think at the end of the day, the whole point was of Elon Musk being there and doing all this stuff is so that later on Trump can boot him out and then go, it's his fault. He did all the unpopular stuff. What a weirdo. I can't believe he would do that. Wow. Oh, that's not what I wanted. You know what? I barely knew the guy. Coffee boy. He just wouldn't leave, and I had to kick him out. Well, there you go. Bannon, look, this is not praise of Bannon. No, we do not have to hand it to him, right? But to be fair, he's been shockingly consistent on this. Because he has never liked Elon Musk. He has never trusted Elon Musk. And, well, look at that. Now he has earned himself a victory lap over this. Is it really that much of a victory lap? Or is it really just, something that we already knew was going to happen? I mean, I guess congratulations are earned for forecasting probably the most sudden but inevitable betrayal. And there you go. Fun times. All right. So I know now we're going to switch away from the Elon Musk Trump meltdown, I guess, and go to a story about I don't know, national security, perhaps. And so yeah, let's do that. All right. President Donald Trump eliminated DEI so that he could hire the best and the brightest for the government, which apparently to him is a 22-year-old white kid who just recently worked in a grocery store while in college. Yeah. Now this is Thomas Fugate, who graduated from the University of Texas at San Antonio just around a year ago. Yes, that's right. He is now currently heading up the Center for Prevention Programs and Partnerships at the Department of Homeland Security, according to a massive report by ProPublica published on Tuesday. The center, known as CP3, plays a vital role in supporting nationwide efforts to combat terrorism and hate-fueled violence. That seems kind of important, okay? And look, as much as I support young people, okay, the youth, and putting them into positions of power and influence, all that stuff is great. But I'm not exactly sure that this is the best idea. Okay? According to Fugat's LinkedIn page, he has almost no experience in the field of counterterrorism. Oh, lovely. Great. And in 2020, he was working as a self-employed landscape business owner. Okay. Now, prior to his work as essentially a gardener, okay, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, while studying for a degree in politics and law, Fugate worked as at an HEB supermarket in Austin, Texas, as a cross-functional team member. Cross-functional team member. Okay. Well, okay. What does he have? Some managerial skills? Perhaps some team building skills. Okay. That doesn't mean that he should be qualified to run an entire counterterrorism department. I mean, what is going on here? What is this what the absence of DEI looks like? Because if it is, bring back DEI. Bring it back anyway. It should have never been gone. Oh my God. Okay. Now, the reality is that this is basically the Trump campaign rewarding one of its staffers, one of its former campaign workers, and also rewarding people that have ties to the Heritage Foundation, of course. Now, he had served as an advanced team member on President Trump's 2024 presidential campaign, and had previously interned at the Heritage Foundation, as well as for Texas Representatives Terry Wilson and Steve Allison. And of course, before, Fugate was reportedly hired as a special assistant in an immigration office at DHS in February, according to the ProPublica report, and then obviously took over CP3 after the previous director quit. So, that's not good. All right. To be fair, though, how did he do? Well, according to a senior DHS official speaking to the Daily Beast, Fugate has performed well in his current role as a confidential assistant in our Immigration and Border Security sub-office. Due to his success, he has been temporarily given additional leadership responsibility in the Center for Prevention Programs and Partnerships office. This is a credit to his work ethic and success on the job. All right, well, sure, but I don't know. I think it's a pretty big step going from assistant to leadership when you have no actual experience. I mean, gee, what could go wrong putting this guy in charge? Now, one counterterrorism researcher who worked with CP3 officials for years told ProPublica that Fugate's appointment sounds, quote, like putting the intern in charge. Oh, yay. That's great. I'm definitely not having a good feeling about this one. I'm just saying. Oh, but don't worry, Jeff. Okay, apparently Fouquet's Instagram is absolute fire. So many selfies. In fact, he's got a number of photos from the campaign trail and his time in Washington, D.C. posted up. Well, lovely. And he is shown with some real heavy hitters like Madison Cawthorn, Kennedy Center President Rick Grinnell, and MAGA personality Riley Gaines. Heavy hitters indeed. He also was pictured with Texas Governor Greg Abbott and former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. The greatest people. The best people. Oh, finally. Oh, thank God DEI is over. The men are back in charge. The boys, at least. I mean, look, kid may think that he's a genius and is well qualified, but I think we know the reasons that he was actually put there. He's a white male Republican. That's really it. And secondly, look, he's very likely to do whatever Donald Trump asks him to do. And knowing Donald Trump, he might, look, Trump's going to ask him to do illegal stuff. And he's probably going to do those illegal things. All right. And again, while ignoring the actual real threats, because there are real threats to the United States. I mean, according to ProPublica, since Trump took over, the office's mission had changed overnight with a pivot away from focusing on domestic extremism, specifically far-right movements, which are a danger, to something else. In fact, the terrorism category that framed the agency's work for years was abruptly expanded to include the drug cartels, part of which DHS staffers call an overarching message that border security is their only mission that matters. Whereas, what about the rest of the terror threats? Well, apparently this administration is leaving that to the states. Oh, so just the states, you're on your own? Well, there you go. According to current and former Homeland Security personnel, grant recipients, and terrorism prevention advocates who work closely with the office, there are a couple of different competing theories as to why Fouquet has been appointed to this position. One is that the Trump administration is rewarding him, as I mentioned, with a resume-boosting title that comes with little real power because the office is in shambles. And that's true. That it went from about 80 full-time employees to about 20, less than 20. So that's not good. But again, it shows you that they actually don't care about, especially going after right-wing extremism in this country, because they are the right-wing extremists, okay? And they're now running things. But the other is that the White House installed him to oversee a pivot away from traditional counterterrorism lanes and to steer resources towards MAGA-friendly sheriffs and border security projects before eventually shuttering operations. In this scenario, Fouquet was basically described as nothing more than a minder or a babysitter. Whichever happens to be true, there is no doubt now that stuff that in the United States has gotten a little bit more dangerous. Right-wing extremism hasn't gone away. It's still here. Anti-Semitic violence hasn't gone away. It's still here. But apparently this administration is going to ignore all that because the border for them is all that matters. And the states, hey, sorry, you're on your own. Well, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Oh, right. The greatest terror threat to the U.S. is domestic right-wing extremists. This has been a known fact for 15 years, and it's one that Republicans just want to ignore. Not just that they want to ignore it, but it's one of those things where they want to encourage it. I mean, I really do believe that, because it doesn't target them. It targets the people that they don't like. All right. So let's move on here. Oh boy. Nearly a dozen ICE officials are apparently stuck in a shipping container at a U.S. base in East Africa. According to reports, federal officials, agents, and detainees are now confined in a makeshift detention center in a shipping container at Camp Lemonnier in Djibouti, facing risk of disease, extreme heat, poor air quality, and of course, potential rocket attacks from Yemen. Well, and oof, oh boy.
Testicles.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh boy. Well, to be fair, there's at least one group in of people in that we should be concerned about, and that's the 8 deportees who are getting sent to South Sudan, likely without any sort of due process. So yeah, there you go. Now, ICE officers, according to the reports, continue to feel ill with symptoms such as coughing, difficulty breathing, fever, and achy joints. These symptoms align with bacterial upper respiratory infection, but ICE officers are unable to obtain proper testing for diagnosis, according to Melissa Harper, acting Deputy Executive Associate Director for ICE Enforcement and Removal Operations. Yeah, again, don't really care. If only there was a way that we could have avoided this situation, by not sending people to South Sudan in the first place. I mean, that would have been smart. But of course, this administration is blaming someone else, as they always do. Now, Massachusetts District Judge Brian Murphy has basically barred ICE from deporting people to South Sudan, but did rule to allow the Trump administration, at their request, to do this temporary detention overseas. So it is the Trump administration that asked, hey, no, we want to keep all these people in Djibouti, okay? And so, will you allow us to do that instead of forcing us to bring them back? And the judge was like, yeah, okay, go ahead. For now, this is a temporary ruling, all right? So, look, the conditions here, they're not the fault of the judge. This is what the administration literally asked for. So whatever happens to the agents and the people, the deportees, that's on the Trump administration. Let it be known that the health and safety of all the people involved here are the responsibility of solely this administration. They had ordered the removal and detention of these 8 individuals and then asked the judge to allow them to stay in this area. So there you go. If anybody dies or is injured, that's on them. That's on ICE. Okay? That's on this administration. Now, Satara Gandhari, the advocacy director of Detention Watch Network, said in a statement shared with Newsweek, quote, "The use of shipping containers to detain people is heinous and enraging. And coupled with the extreme heat, disease, and threats of rocket attacks in Djibouti can be deadly." Well, yes. At the moment, 11 ICE agents alongside of 2 medical staff and 8 migrants are there in what ICE's acting Deputy Executive Associate Director described as poor and unsafe conditions. The 8 detainees are confined in a converted shipping container used as a conference room. Officers share limited sleeping quarters, just 6 beds in a trailer, and have restricted access to critical supplies. The base experiences temperatures exceeding 100 degrees Fahrenheit and persistent poor air quality because of local burn pits, which emit smog and have caused respiratory illness among both officers and detainees. Within 72 hours of their arrival, Both personnel and detainees reportedly suffered symptoms consistent with bacterial upper respiratory infection. Some officers only began taking anti-malarial medication after landing, raising further health concerns, according to court filings. Defense officials have warned that the group faces a continuing threat of terrorist rocket attacks, potentially emanating from Yemen, while lacking body armor or protective gear. And there you go. The Trump administration, if anything happens to these people, once again, that was their decision to have them stay there instead of bringing everybody back to the United States. Now, the administration, of course, is blaming Judge Murphy, except, once again, as I keep pointing out, they made that request. Murphy was just like, okay, if you really want to, fine, I'll let you stay there. I'm not going to order you to bring them back and say that you can't put them here. But it's not a good idea. Now, he also wrote in a court order that this administration had, quote, manufactured chaos by proposing overseas proceedings, then objecting to their own request. Yes, that's right. Yeah, no, we want overseas. We want to take people overseas and do these proceedings here, these deportations, and, in other countries. Oh, my God. Why are you making us do this in other countries? What do you do? What? Now, look, one of the reasons that Murphy made this ruling, by the way, and stopped these deportations to South Sudan is so that they could give these migrants due process, okay, in the form of having a reasonable fear interview. Now, that would allow these detainees an opportunity to present claims that they could face persecution or torture if they were sent to South Sudan. Gandahari told Newsweek this is the latest move in Trump's shocking expansion of third country deportations when a person is deported to a country other than their country of origin, where they often have no connection, by expelling people out of sight and out of mind to remote prisons in war-torn, unstable countries. The Trump regime, I love that, is attempting to normalize the offshoring of immigration detention and third country deportations as a new and expanded model of incarceration and deportation. Yes, that's right. Now, Melissa Harper wrote in her court filing, the conference room in which the aliens are housed is not equipped nor suitable for detention of any length, let alone the detention of high-risk individuals. Do we really know that they're high risk, though? Notably, the room has none of the security apparatus necessary for the detention of criminal aliens. Once again, we don't know if they are. If an altercation were to occur, there is no other location on the site available to separate the aliens, which further compromises the officer's safety. Sad. Baby. We could, of course, bring them back. The Trump administration has the ability to order that. I mean, even if they were criminals, right? Which, again, we don't know. We do have places in this country to house them. They're called jails. Yes, I know. Instead of sending them overseas so they could face these brutal conditions in a shipping container, and then eventually to terrible, horrific camps where they will most certainly either be tortured or killed. I mean, which I guess was the point, right? It's Nazi shit. Sending people out of the country, claiming that they're all, criminals and whatever, even though a lot of them are not, so that they can no longer, they'll be tracked or protected by our laws. And that is, of course, because this administration is completely lawless. They don't want to follow our laws. They want to make examples out of immigrants. They want the cruelty because the cruelty is the point. That said, the irony now is that we have ICE agents that happen to also be stuck in these horrible conditions, to which I say, so sad. Anyway. Don't feel bad for them at all. I really don't. All right. Last story here, and it's Dr. Oz. Want you to prove your worth. How much money was wasted on 5,000-mile flights instead of housing them here? A lot of money. A lot of money. Okay. Dr. Oz has a message for those of you concerned about losing your Medicaid benefits. Prove that you are worthy enough to get health care. That's right. On Wednesday, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Administrator went on Fox Business to explain to host Larry Kudlow why the administration wants work requirements, and it's to get rid of the lazy people who don't want to work. And you know what? If you do that, if you go out and you work, then you're going to be able to keep your benefits. Take a look.
Go out there, do entry-level jobs, get into the workforce, prove that you matter, do something to show you have agency over your future. And if you're willing to do any of those things, we will check the box and you get to keep your free Medicaid. But if you're not willing to do those things, then we're going to ask you to go on and do something else, like go on the exchanges or get a job and get into regular commercial insurance. But we're not going to continue to pay for Medicaid for those audiences.
Prove that you matter. That's right. Prove that you matter. Basically saying that if you are not able to generate income for a rich person or corporation, then you do not matter and you do not deserve health care. That is their message right there. Okay, that's the message. Plain and simple. All right. That said, 64% of Medicaid recipients already work. They already have jobs. 71% are either in school or working full or part-time. So, I mean, there you go. The rest, by the way, are either disabled and can't work, or they are caregivers. Okay? And by the way, no undocumented immigrants are eligible for federal benefits. I know that there is that lie that continues to be pushed by right-wingers. Mike Johnson, for example, going out there. We're not going to take away Americans' Medicaid. We're just going to take it away from people who are undocumented immigrants and lazy people and, those who are able-bodied. Yes, that's right. That's what we're going to do. No. The reality is the vast majority of people already work or they have damn good reasons not to. So that said, where are they going to get the $880 billion in promised cuts from? Well, people who are working and get Medicaid, the people who are already eligible. They're going to get it by kicking those people off the program. Period. Look, the Congressional Budget Office found that at least 10 million Americans would be forced off of Medicaid as a result of Trump's big, beautiful bill. Okay? When they looked at it, when they examined it, they found that the administration had about 5 different options on how to try to find $880 billion worth of cuts. They're all bad, but I'm going to read them off anyway. Option 1 would reduce the federal government's share of responsibility, also called the FMAP, for the Medicaid expansion population. Okay, so basically, they're going to shift the responsibility onto the states. And of course, the states, which a lot of them have balanced budget amendments, that means that they're not going to be able to afford to keep as many people on Medicaid, so they're going to reduce the amount of people on it. That's it. Okay. How many people? About 5.5 million people would be kicked off of Medicaid, period. And about 2.4 million people would end up going uninsured. Because remember, this also would likely affect people on ACA programs as well, the budget cuts themselves. Okay. And so, yes, that's another problem. Option 2 would limit provider taxes that the states use to cover portions of their Medicaid funding, which would result in about 8.6 million people being kicked off of Medicaid and 3.9 million going uninsured. Option 3 would establish limits or caps on federal spending for all people in the state who have health insurance through Medicaid. That would result in about 5.8 million people being kicked off the program, 2.9 million going uninsured completely. Option 4 would establish limits or caps on federal spending for the Medicaid expansion population, resulting in 3.3 million people being kicked off Medicaid and 1.5 going uninsured. And finally, option 5 would repeal the Medicaid and Medicare Savings Program enrollment, streamlining rules that reduced barriers to enrolling in the programs, making it harder essentially for people to sign up and stay on it, which would result in about 2.3 million people being kicked off Medicaid and 0.6 million going uninsured. All of these options are terrible and would lead to, of course, eligible people who, yes, work for a living, the poorest of the poor, though, not being able to get health care. And it's not like they could go and afford insurance on the ACA exchanges. The whole point for Medicaid is to get allow people who cannot afford it, who are poor, to be able to get health care. That's it. Look, health insurance costs are too high. Wages are too low. It's both of those things combined. And so you want to kick those people off? Yes, that's exactly what they're going to do. Dr. Oz is both clueless and cruel. He is telling the poorest of the poor who already work to go get a job. Oh, and to buy expensive insurance that they can't afford. Oh, yeah. Oh, so you can tell these people just pull $1,000 out of the month from their ass while they're making $7.25 an hour? Look, if you're doing the math, okay, and you're working 30 hours a week, which, again, tends to be like a standard for people on a minimum wage, all right, making $7.25 an hour, your monthly income pre-tax comes out to a total of $943. That is not very much, okay? Not very much at all. If you're working 40 hours, you're still only making around $1,200. That's, again, disastrous. Now, if you take the average national monthly health insurance cost for a single person on an ACA plan without tax credits, okay, how much does that cost them? An average of $477 a month. The reason I'm doing this math here, okay, is to point out that there is no possible way for a person to afford rent, food, health insurance, transportation if you are making the minimum wage. Can't do it. Impossible. This is why Medicaid exists, to give people who, yes, are working or who cannot work health care. There is literally no other way for them to be able to afford it otherwise. Just get a better job, they say. Well, then who's going to do the jobs that they're leaving? If they're even capable of being able to get a better job. I mean, it kind of sounds like that argument is to just justify the existence of jobs that guarantee that the person working it never escapes poverty. Yeah, I guess that's the point. Look, the minimum wage was meant to be the minimum that you could actually live on. You can't even do that at this point, though. You cannot live on a minimum wage. And yet this guy, Dr. Oz, is like, prove your worth. Prove that you are worthy of living. Because again, if you don't have health care, if you can't get health care, health insurance, what happens? You die. That's it. Look, prove your worth. Well, I mean, I think a person's worth for healthcare is, hey, if you're alive, good enough. You deserve healthcare. Congratulations. That's how I feel about that. All right. And so hearing him say this, it blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. Like, how can you think like that? That you have to prove that you're worthy of being able to get health care. We all are going to need health care in our lives at some point. Okay? We all should have it. You know what? We should all also have food and a roof over our heads, a place to sleep. And I think we should all have those things by virtue of being alive. And that's it. But again, Dr. Oz does not believe so. So, you know what? Hey, Dr. Oz, prove your worth. What makes you worth millions of dollars? Is it? I mean, I don't think it's because of your crappy show where you gave out terrible health advice and scammed people. Okay? No, what you're doing here is basically eugenics, which shouldn't surprise anyone knowing these people and knowing who they are. Because you know what? Killing off the poor and helping rich people for the benefit of the wealthy is kind of their whole thing. Okay. Yeah, Mitt Romney. Oh, I love that. Just ask your friends and family for money. And if your friends and family don't have money, what then? I swear these people are just so disconnected from the everyday reality faced by millions of people, millions of Americans. You know, look, half the country can't afford a $400 emergency. Okay, I mean, it's absolutely just cruel, and cruelty for the sake of cruelty, and greed. That's really it. Okay. So, that's all I got for y'all today. That show went extremely fast. So thank you for tuning in for this. Really appreciate it. Oh, wow. Coffee Crow with a very kind super chat. $50. I did not see that before. Here's what Coffee Crow said. The Trump-Musk bromance breakup was not on my Pride Month bingo card, but it's the funniest thing I've seen so far this year. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more, except I did see it coming. I mean, again, when you have two big egos in the room, only one of them is going to walk out. Okay. So thank you, Coffee Crow, for that incredibly kind $50 super chat. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Hey, you know, thanks to everybody who has signed up, become a member, or, you know, become a patron and supports the show in these various different ways, like Coffee Crow did. So thank you so much for that. Again, really appreciate that. And fun comment. And again, fun stories. I love it. It's last, 2 days has just been awesome. Fantastic. I'm enjoying it. I know, you know, as much as we enjoy this stuff too, we cannot forget the disaster, the damage that they are doing to this country, even as we speak, even as we see them fight each other. They are still causing a massive amount of damage. And of course, none of us are going to forget that. But it is fun to talk about these stories and to bring these stories to light. Just, you know, to have a little bit of fun, because we have to have some sort of levity here in order to allow us to continue focusing on the important stuff. Look, let me just address one more thing here, too. There are Democrats out there, okay, that are like, now's the perfect time to bring Elon Musk back to our side. No, don't do that. No, he's terrible.
Don't you ever do that. Don't you ever do that. I tell you, don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't, no. Elon Musk is still a Nazi. Okay, he's still a fascist. Still a very bad person. You do not want that on your side. Okay, you don't. Okay, so let's not go in that direction. For God's sakes. All right. And so, like, Democrats that are doing that, stop. Just stop. It's a stupid, dumb idea, so I'm sure the Democrats will do it. It's not like they're not trying. They're totally trying. Oh, terrible idea. Terrible. Okay. Once again, Democratic Party ready to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And of course, this is Richie Torres, what is it? Or Hakeem Jeffries. I'm not sure which one said that. Because I don't quite remember, because I generally do not pay attention to either of them. But oof, not a good idea, guys. No, do not. No, not. This is not that kind of open tent. Okay, no. Okay. But anyway, thank you again for watching the show. Please like and share if you haven't already. Have a good weekend, everybody. Have a good, safe, and happy weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Take a break from politics. Unplug if you need to, because you know what? We all need to at some point. And join me back here on Monday for more, hopefully, fun stories. So, with that, love you all. And remember, change begins with you. Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend.